And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On this week's episode of the PCC Multiverse, got another one that we put out for you. Really just happy with what we're doing now because we're talking Avowed on the Xbox. Go ahead and hear our big discussions from the Super ES crew and myself on Avowed right there for you on the Pop Culture Cosmos channel, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, as well, going to go ahead and give a big shout out to everyone out there watching on Lakers Live because the Lakers Live's channel has our good friend Zach, who was at the game today. Go ahead and give a big shout out as well and support and like what he's doing at Lakers Live on Facebook and YouTube. Of course, also as well, going to go ahead and mention as Raphael562 is giving out those Lakers Fast Break memberships. Truly appreciate it. Also as well, of course, our good friends, the Lakerholics crew. Biggest win of the season, possibly. And the Lakerholics crew can't come together this weekend. I know. What a shame. But still, stop on by for their opinions on the game and exactly how good Luka looked tonight on Lakerholics.com. Empire Jeff TV, want to give him a big shout out. He stopped on by our playback. Go ahead and give him a shout out on his YouTube channel as well, Empire Jeff TV. And of course, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Go ahead and check out his channel. Of course, Legend 350, Alfred Esmond, Stone Hansen, all those great guys, please support, but don't forget to give the biggest support of all to us right here at the Lakers Fast Break, because we need those likes, we need those subscribers, and we need all the help that you can give us, including memberships, which will give you emojis, badges, videos in advance, articles, and more. Go ahead and become a member today for just $2.99 a month. Like and subscribe from your friends right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Well, Saturday night, prime time in the Mile High City. Lakers going to where they usually don't have the greatest of success, but things have changed. We said, everyone out there, please be patient. Be patient. Let this team come together. Let Luka get in a little better shape. Let him start to better work with his players. Give him a little bit of time. But no, the Luka haters, day in and day out, they responded day in and day out with their hate towards Luka, with their hate towards the trade. All we heard is, man, we miss Max Christie. We need AD back. Blah, 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 blah. But we had always said to you guys, just be patient. This trade was one of the greatest in all of Lakers history. It's just going to take time for everything to come together. And I said, win or lose, don't take too much from this game, what's happening on Saturday, but it's always nice to see Luka Doncic coming to play today, as he did his first really big game for the Lakers tonight. He delivered, especially in that first half, 32 points overall, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, only 1 turnover. LeBron James, coming off of 11 turnovers, he only had 1 turnover and chipped in with 25 and 9, and also played great defense, which was a key to this victory. The way they played defense against Denver and the way they, as a team, helped out each other to guard Jokic was absolutely a key to this victory. Austin Reeves chipped in with 23 and 7 assists. Rui Hashimura had 4 3-pointers and 21 points. And the Lakers, behind Luka Doncic, dusting off all those Luka haters out there, they take the victory, 123 to 100.
You're
they
awesome.
34 and 21. Thank you so much again, Raphael, for the memberships. Truly glad that you're a part of what we do here at the Lakers Fast Break, dishing out those memberships as we speak. But here today to go ahead and discuss what we're going to talk about with a great Lakers victory and a great performance by Luka Doncic just when we need it. He's a good man indeed. He is the madman from
You're
Toronto. He
awesome.
did get out of Toronto traffic to stop on by. He is awesome indeed. It is, of course, the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Sean, good to have you here. Glad that you were able to weather the storm as far as Joe Soro for 2.5 hours. Also, glad that you were able to see a performance that we were waiting to see from Luka Doncic. Oh, wait. What's the sound of silence, like the song says? The sound of silence is from all those Luka haters shutting the hell up after what we saw tonight.
100%, Gerald, and I'm glad you led in with the analogy of Sorrow being the storm because I consider myself Raiden, and Raiden is the thunder god. So
He always has that
that
cool hat. I love that hat.
it's a how it's um I mean vintage Luca. Gerald, one of his favorite shots is just above that left wing above the break where he could step back and shoot that three. All four of his makes from deep came from that exact spot, and there's nothing you can do, Gerald. When he's on and he's hitting that shot, there's nothing you can do. It's an unguardable shot. There are a couple in the NBA. That's one of them. And between him and Austin Reeves, Gerald, the Lakers were splashing from beyond the arc. Now, I mean, it was a sum zero game there because both the Lakers and Denver shot exactly 16 of 41 from three. However, when you look down the sheet, Gerald, it's Lakers double digit pluses in points in the paint, double digit pluses in fast break points. They committed 20 less turnovers than Denver did and had the exact same number of assists. So your turnover ratio in a hostile environment where the altitude is against you is 4-1. You outpaced the home team that has the advantage with the altitude. You matched them from beyond the arc, and Luka was able to score 16 of his game high in that first quarter. And there were two big differences between what how the Lakers played Jokic this game, Gerald, and how they've played him, say the past, I'd say 4 or 5 regular season games, including the last playoff matchup, and that is they threw different looks at him in the paint and in the box. They made him decide whether he was going to be on the top end of the box trying to create or the bottom. They weren't giving him that much space. It was a heavy game. They threw Rui at him. They threw Jackson Hayes at him. They threw LeBron at him. It was a good muscle memory mix of defenders on Jokic, and they made him get rid of the ball quickly in the first quarter. They really didn't let him settle in and try and see the floor. They cut off half of the floor in that painted area as well. It was a very strategic move, and I credit JJ Redick and the coaching staff with obviously kind of seeing what they could do to Jokic to cut off half the floor in the half
Yay!
court,
A
which is what they did.
subscriber. Thank you, Dante, for subscribing. Magic, just a great performance all the way around. It couldn't get better. You couldn't have scripted it any better tonight for Lakers fans, and I'm just very happy that the Lakers did get the win, 123-100. They're still a half game behind, fourth place in the Western Conference, but here today to go ahead and discuss what's going to go on with the Lakers going forward, and of course the great game tonight. Good man indeed. You need to go ahead and make sure that you are liking and subscribing to his great channels, including Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner, which carried the game as well. It is, of course, John Costa. John, great to have you here, my friend. Also, assist as well. Got to go ahead and give that a plug as well. My friend, I think as well, getting that Luka off onto this track on a platform, on a national TV platform. You couldn't ask for a better scenario for the Lakers. And again, For people out there, the naysayers, the people that said Luka can't be it, he's too fat, he's too this, he's too that, he's too slow, he's too hurt, bring back AD. Max Christie is the second coming. He can walk on water, all that stuff. Look at him in Dallas. Look at him in Dallas. Look how well he's doing. It's all we've heard for the past few days. But as we've seen, you get Luka right. You get Luka playing at that level he was playing at in the playoffs last season. Watch out. Again, I said it before and I'll say it again. You get LeBron playing like this, you get Luka playing like this, and you get the supporting cast of AR and Rui playing like this, they stand a chance against anyone in a 7-game series, John.
Absolutely do stand a chance. Joe said John looks like he's gonna preach and try to convert. What? That's crazy, brother. These are just some Blu-ray.
All about the glasses. All about the glasses, my friend.
These are some because listen, y'all. I work from home, so I'm carrying the computer all day. But these are just some Blu-ray vision glasses or whatever. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Why didn't you guys listen to us, man? The Luka haters out there. Why didn't y'all listen to us? We told y'all. It's gonna happen. Give the man time to get some continuity with the team. Give the man time to get back in shape. Come on, y'all. Like, there's no way you didn't see this guy just carry the Mavs essentially. And I mean, he had the highest usage rate, not only in the league, but by far on the Mavs to the finals last year. And now in 1 year, not even an entire year separation, you think this guy's completely fallen off the map and we're better off keeping Max Christie and Anthony Davis? Come on, man. Come on. I just hope that this is the game that if y'all wasn't already woken up to what's going to happen, woke you guys up, man. Luka Doncic came out in that first quarter and scored 16 points. And the crazy thing is, the offense was there. But I think the crazy thing is the fucking defense. It's the defense. It's the effort that we see on the defensive end. Great team defensive performance tonight, but also Luka played the passing lane so well. How many steals did he personally end up finishing with today? He ended up finishing with, let's see, 4 steals, y'all. And I remember top of my head where he was just right there in the passing lane. So to me, it's something that we haven't even seen Dallas Mavericks Luka do much of. So if you aren't already woken up, man, it's time to wake up, man. It's time to wake up and realize what this is. Now, as far as everything else with this game, how can you complain? Like, how can you complain? You have 4 players who score 20 points or more. Luka has 32. AR is 23. LeBron is 25. Rui is 21. We played great team basketball. Nobody had to, go out there and do it on their own. Nobody was stuck on the Jokic island. To our point that we were talking about during the game, and to Sean's point earlier, if we did double Jokic every single time, the help defense rotated over perfectly, because I think that's one of the biggest issues with doubling Jokic is when you double, or you just send an extra body to Jokic, that means somebody else is open on the court and they're cutting every single time. But if your help, once you double, can also rotate over to the man that's most likely going to be cutting, man, you got it going. And tonight we had it going from quarters 1 through 4, man. There was some drop offs, but basketball is a game of runs at the end of the day. But we did it, man. You know what I'm saying? We did it. Feels great to beat the Nuggets, most of all. And I had a couple of coworkers that went to the game and they were talking a whole bunch of big game. So can't wait to remotely tell them off on Monday. Be like, yeah, how does it feel? Hold this motherfucking Luka nuts in your mouth. Anyway, though, I want to let Joe go because I see the chat here is feeding for my boy Joe.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is, of course, Magic Man Sean Grice, John Costa, me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. The Lakers dominate the Denver Nuggets tonight, 123-100, backed by a just truly outstanding defensive performance, team defensive performance tonight on Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, and buoyed by a 30-point Luka superstar performance as well. Here today to go ahead and discuss it is our good man indeed. He is, of course, Ox1947 at LakersBall.com. Plus, also as well, he wants you to get from Steam his indie fighting game of the year, Corrupt, Coreupt on Steam. And of course, he has a company you need to support as well if you're in the Southern California. Simblades with the Y.com. It is Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here. I'll say it best because I'm watching at the chat now. There is no sign of Lloyd Avenue right now, who is very vocal in his protesting of the Luka trade. And
Mickey's on Christmas Avenue for the night.
Yes. And Nick T, he's brave enough to be here. He was pounding his chest for days about how this was such a bad trade, whatnot. But his meager answer tonight is just one game, Joe. It's just one game. It's just one game, Joe. Just one game.
It's pretty
I will
good
say this,
impression,
Joe.
Gerald.
Exactly. Well, it's so meager. That's how he's putting just one game.
Who said this?
Nick T. After
Oh,
all
Nick T.
the days, yes, we've heard him on and on. Weekly.
He's sounding like he's drinking a little too much spiked iced tea.
Yeah, I think so. But Joe,
I got to crack a smile from Jean. At least it worked.
No,
exactly.
Joe, it was a good one, Joe. I was just on mute, but I laughed.
I know.
Two keys to the game, obviously getting Luka to get you that kind of performance, but it was that team defense. Really, I know you're not really up on defense, but you got to admit tonight, they came to play on the defensive end, and they really controlled the game with what they did. 15 steals, 20 turnovers. That's the way to get it done, Joe.
So for the regular season, this was the first game the Lakers had won in double digits in Denver since 2011. It's a pretty significant change. That's a long time, guys. We're talking about 14 years since the Lakers have gone into Denver and really, really spanked them the way they did. Looking at what the Lakers did here, they implemented the Joker rules tonight. And the Joker rule was essentially destroy any passing lanes for him with size, which they had, and make sure that he felt a little bit of pressure physically, which they did. And I want to thank the refs for letting the teams play a little physical tonight. You did notice some things that you usually don't notice in an NBA game. They actually let them play a little bit. There were some calls that went their way. There were some calls that went the Lakers' way. But I always say if it's even, I'm okay with a little roughhousing. And they essentially just didn't let Joker even for 2 or 3 seconds dictate how the play was going to develop and let him pretty much skewer everyone. They even let guys like Aaron Gordon have their shots. And when you're in the moment as a fan, you're like sitting there like, damn it, why, right? But the reality is after it's done and you kind of settle down, you're not too into the game, you realize you want to give Aaron Gordon those shots because it's better than the alternative. Because if Joker starts going off, it doesn't. Remember, I told you guys 2 points isn't always 2 points. A lot of times, depending on how those 2 points are made, it could mean a momentum shift. It could mean the crowd going nuts, and it becomes this wave that you just can't stop, and it feels much bigger than just a couple points. The hell, they didn't even let him get any space for a three. He barely was able to even do anything there. And then you had guys like Jamal Murray who had their shots too, but not consistent enough for 4 quarters. Michael Porter Jr., whom I have always said is the X factor in this game. I know that Jamal's been the clutch guy, but it's actually Michael Porter Jr. making his shots for 4 quarters is what really takes the Lakers down in most of those games. And he was pretty much non-existent tonight. And that was
5 of 14, 1 of 4 from 3, Joe.
So props to, and I can't really. The defense was so good. It was so good that I didn't really know who was guarding who. It was just it was a guarding by committee. Everyone guarded someone when they needed to guard them, and they did their job. LeBron on the boards. Oh my God, LeBron on the boards really, really saved, at least from just my memory, at least 5 possessions. So Sean got 6. So I counted 7, so you got 6. That's good. I mean, we're talking those are momentum changing type plays. Just a simple defensive rebound, especially when it's coming from LeBron, because now you have LeBron bringing the ball up, and he got a rebound, and you got to set your defense. Now you don't know. Okay, we got to set our defense because is LeBron going to go to the basket? Is he going to be distributing? And LeBron's balance tonight was just phenomenal. You did not know what he was doing. He took very little bad shots tonight, folks. Tonight, when you talk about LeBron James, this game tonight, when you see him play like this is what puts him in that spot. I mean, he played absolutely next level, prime, Hall of Fame times 10 basketball tonight.
He essentially what LeBron was able to do tonight was because DFS plays effective defense against those wings. Sorry to interrupt you, Joe.
No, you didn't. You chimed in at the perfect time. That was good.
Yeah, and because you're able to have essentially a combination of Rui, Luka, or you have Reeves and Vincent, or Vincent and somebody and Vando out there. You have a combination of perimeter players that can cover a lot of ground. So essentially, LeBron plays like a nickel corner. Like he plays like the third defender on the perimeter, basically, and that's where he's a killer because he communicates. Gerald, he might be one of the top 10 communicators all time defensively, as far as letting guys know where to be, where to go, where to anticipate passing lanes, and he was able to do that tonight. It was obvious, Gerald, that if we do end up playing Denver in a 7-game series in the playoffs, Gerald, I think Jackson Hayes could play exactly the same way for 7 games if need be. He wasn't asked to do too much tonight. He played his basic game. He didn't fall for pump fakes from Christian Braun or Jamal Murray, and he stood his ground in the paint. If you get Jackson Hayes to play like this, size isn't going to be a problem in the playoffs.
We'll see. Absolutely. But just a great defensive performance, a very great team defensive performance, Magic Man. I agree with you, Joe. And again, I know, Joe, you say all the time that defense is poor, blah, blah, blah. But today, I think it really keyed the Lakers to the victory. John, if you want to interject, again, you saw, you know what? One thing I really want to compliment ABC on was the way that they isolated possessions and how the team was so effectively guarding Jokic. It was not just a Jackson Hayes thing as far as concerned, because he did a good job against Jokic. But it was, you could see everybody is crowding around Jokic. They are making it extremely hard for him to get the ball. Tonight, he took 7 shots total, only made 2 of 7. It was only 12 points. He did get a triple-double, but still, you made him about as ineffective as possible with the team defense that they showed tonight, John.
Absolutely, man. They threw multiple bodies at him, and not to, I guess, bring up a sore topic for all of us, but what was the last time that we had a lot of success at throwing a lot of bodies at Jokic? When we beat him in 2020, right? You have to throw multiple bodies at him. When you have a player of that caliber, he cannot see the same defender damn near for 5 possessions in a row. Like if he sees the same defender and the same defensive scheme for like 5 possessions in a row, it's damn near wraps. It's over. He's going to figure that out. He's going to barbecue chicken that. But if you continuously throw different looks at him, it makes it tough, man. And then on top of that, to my original point that I talked about, when not only your primary defender that's on Jokic is playing some good defense, but your help side is rotating perfectly over as well, that's how you force them into 20 turnovers that they had. That's how you force them into those 6 turnovers that they just had in that first quarter. Honestly, great defense. One of the best defensive schemes and defensive performance I've seen us play really all season long. You know, it's a good one when you got 40-year-old LeBron James with a defensive intensity. I mean, I think it's been this is the second game that I can just boom off the top of my head, just see LeBron so locked in on the defensive end. It was the game when we got Luka but Luka was still on the bench. That game, LeBron was just locked in on the defensive end, and then I love that. And then the game today. I mean, like LeBron is being locked in, man. But yes, to your point for the audio people, the reason why we're laughing is because we had put something on the screen here that's a Luka apology form. So Doobie and a lot of you people in here, man, you guys are gonna have to be filling that form out. You can go ahead and send it this way, man. We'll drop our PO box. You're on mute, Sean. What's up, brother?
Go ahead, John. I got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, you sign, you initial, you date it, and it's sent to LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. And Gerald will gladly read them out on air next time if you have the guts. But we do, Gerald. We wonder sometimes, do you haters out there have the testicular fortitude?
Well, I mean, Lloyd Avenue, if he ever comes back, is going to hear it from us.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Lloyd Avenue was one of the biggest vocal haters, and he is nowhere near to be seen right now in our chat. So I'm thinking he's afraid.
Come out of your hole, Lloyd.
Yeah, exactly.
Wherever that hole is,
yes,
come out of it.
Yeah, and again, Nick T, at least he's here. I will give him credit for that, but he's just one game. That's not going to do it. You've got to go ahead and say, you know what? I was wrong. I see now what you guys have been talking about. You guys were right. That's what we need to hear because that's what it is. Absolutely, that's what it is. If Luka gives you the kind of performance you need tonight and the team comes together and plays defense like that, they stand a chance with any team in the NBA in a 7-game series. I didn't say they could beat them, but I said they can make it worthwhile.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we haven't had that kind of confidence in a long time. But again, we will see how it flows. I didn't want to take too much from this game, win or lose. We have to see how they go going into April and how that works out and how they are playing as a team heading into the playoffs. That will give us obviously even more confidence if they're playing like this. But Joe, we got a sample size of what this particular team can do when they're playing to their optimal capabilities, when they're not playing down to their competition, like was noted on the playback. Why couldn't they play like this against Charlotte? Why couldn't they play like this against some of these other low-ranked teams? But you know what? They came to play. They rose to the occasion, as Robert Wheeler said. They came to play. They didn't falter in the second half like they did in the playoffs in almost every game. They came to play. They held that lead. Even though that start of the third quarter, they brought it down to 1, Denver did. They stayed strong. And they got the job done, Joe.
Joe, real quick, right before you go, I just want to say something just because if we get off this point, it won't make sense. To your point, Gerald, about Nick T standing on business and being like, even when he's wrong, I want to give a shout out to I Speak the Truth. He's on the Lakers corner live stream, and he said, I admit your Lakers showed me something. I had them getting blown out, but they won big. Do I think they're going to win a championship? No, but their future definitely looks bright. Something we already knew, but just wanted to give a shout out to somebody that can stand on it when they're wrong. My fault, Joe. Go ahead, brother.
The Lakers never trailed in this game. It was coast to coast. And then when you look at the minutes that were distributed, this is probably the next to the fact that JJ had a terrific game plan on Jokic. His minutes distribution worked, he created the minutes the way he did, and it's almost scary what happened here when you look at what the final stats were. So LeBron played 33 minutes and Jokic played 31 minutes. And I remember in both cases when LeBron was sitting, the Lakers increased the lead. And that right there, folks, that right there is what we were talking about even before Luka had stepped foot on the court. I know we talked about it in that if Luka's on the court and LeBron is sitting, this is now a completely different game because you still have to worry about Luka. In a lot of ways, Luka is better than LeBron when it comes to those situations because he's a threat to get to the basket, to shoot from half court, to distribute a certain way, whatever, right? And that right there is if this thing continues to progress like we think it will, that right there is what's going to possibly allow LeBron to maybe think about extending his career. Because if LeBron is going to continue to play like this for a couple more years, he knows that this team is 2 acquisitions away from probably being the favorite to win the title, especially if Luka's on 100. And tonight, he didn't even shoot well. He shot in spots that were perfect, but he actually didn't shoot well tonight. If he had shot well tonight, like Luka does normally, this thing would have been over in the third quarter. And going back to the third quarter, this is sometimes you get hints during the game. Of course, you don't want to jinx it either, even though there's no such thing. It's just something we talk about during the game. But when they did come back, when they started the third quarter, it was immediately returned, and they got it back up to 9 within like a minute and a half to 2 minutes. Once I saw that, it's almost like you could see Denver kind of slouch and go, oh, shoot. This isn't the same Laker team. They didn't just quit. And I have to watch the game again, and I will. I know I'm missing a lot of things because I was kind of entrenched in the hype, and I was talking to the guys and texting and talking and all that. So I didn't get a chance to really delve into how exactly to a T, how they were playing against Denver, other than what I saw just in spurts. But once I do, I'm going to probably get a better idea maybe tomorrow when we have a show to explain why the Lakers really did well tonight in terms of guarding Jokic, and why Jamal Murray and why guys like Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon really couldn't be as effective as they usually are against the Lakers. I do have a little bit that I'll tell you now, obviously, because it's a post game. You want to bring it up. I think what ended up happening, again, we discussed this before, is these guys now have to play the perimeter more. And Reeves has improved a lot, even since the last time they met Denver. The boys missed a lot of open shots, but they also made timely shots. And that right there, folks, is what we need from the role players. Role players are not going to make every open shot. They're not the 30, 40, $50 million players. They're the, 14 to 19 to 17 mil players. They're going to make shots, but they're not going to make them all the time. But what we need them to do is make timely shots. That's the key. And guys like Rui, guys like Austin Reeves made timely shots. Even Gabe was struggling during the game, but he made that 3 in the corner and absolutely, you could tell it energized the Lakers, and you could see Denver slip even more down. Those type of plays are all we're asking these guys to make. And, of course, the way they play team defense, this was a team defense situation that we rarely see. The Lakers looked like Darrelle Revis tonight. Darrelle Revis in modern football is the only cornerback that I've seen in the last, I know people will argue this, but for me, in the last 20 years, Darrelle Revis is the greatest cornerback of his generation, cornerback that's been able to do what he's done without touching the receiver. It's hard to play physical and not get called when you're physical, especially in the NBA. The Lakers were physical tonight, but they weren't fouling. That right there, folks, that's something you cannot game plan around. If they're going to guard you and they're not getting fouls called on them, it doesn't matter whether it's Jokic, doesn't matter if it's Embiid, Shai Gilgeous, Chet Holmgren, Jared Allen, it doesn't matter. You're going to have a problem because these are still 6'7", 6'9" guys, 7 feet tall, if you're talking about Jackson Hayes, who are going to be blocking your stuff. And it's simple physics. It doesn't matter if it's Jackson Hayes' hand or if it's Chet Holmgren's hand, that ball is not going to go where the player wants it to go. And if the Lakers are going to be a defensive team like this, where they're not fouling anyone and they're being this aggressive, oh boy, this could be very interesting here. How they game plan around this will be very interesting. If this was a 7-game series that they were playing against Denver, I would be very eager to see how they adjust to this. It'd be fun to see that. But to put an end on this particular discussion, I'm going to say this: the Lakers are leaving Denver now feeling like probably they haven't felt all year. And the only thing I ask of them is, if you guys are starting to feel that, make sure you don't ever not feel it, because it's important. The mental part is important here, and we're going to see in the next game if that continues.
Magic Man, let me bring you back in. And once again, the Lakers win 123-100. Lakers are now, again, 34-21. They're a half game behind Houston in the race for fourth place in the Western Conference. You wanted to go ahead and bring up the stat. Before I do, Logan, truly appreciate the super chat. He says, this is what happens when Luka runs the offense. I also put up a poll, and overwhelmingly, with 84% in the poll, are they on the Luka train now? They are. They said, hell yes, Magic Man. Go ahead,
100%, Gerald, should be. And by the way, I'm just going to pull up something else too, and just to illustrate the point better, when you have the two of them side by side. Excuse me.
JJ Redick said the Lakers offense needs to run through Luka Doncic's hands, by the way.
Oh, of course. So when you look at this stat here, what's interesting is that this is obviously post-trade, but not a lot has changed. But what's interesting is that when you look at the impact that Luka has on the Lakers as far as getting to the line, it's going to be pretty marginal. And that has nothing to do with him. That has everything to do with how the offense is supposed to work. So the Lakers are nearly a plus 1,300 for made free throws over the last 2.5 years. We're not even through this year yet. They might get to well over 1,200. That means all this bitching and moaning we heard a couple years ago, Gerald, about the Lakers having a plus 500 differential as far as free throws made versus given up is a testament to a philosophy that actually LeBron and Reeves have, and now Luka's gonna have to adopt that, because the Lakers offense flows best when it's dribble penetration and I can create space in the paint, and we're either getting easy layups or we're getting and ones. Now, we should have gotten I thought, a handful of and ones tonight that we didn't, Gerald, but it's going to happen when you're on the road. So you're going to have to deal with that factor. That being said, in a playoff series, it's a completely different animal, and the Lakers are best when they're running a train downhill. We can have the mountain splashes every once in a while, but this team is a power to the bucket team. Reeves emphasizes going to the hole. LeBron emphasizes going to the hole. You see Rui, I mean, he actually finished at the rim these past few games with LeBron and Luka out there, Gerald. So, I mean, there's obviously an emphasis now of finishing strong at the rim. That is an offensive philosophy that is at the top when you're talking about the Lakers. And this is without Anthony Davis, by the way. So the Lakers were fifth in free throws before Luka came. Now they're third. The Mavericks are acquired a guy who can get to the line as well, Gerald. But the difference is that The offense has to change for him. All Luka has to do is have the ball in his hands and let the guys do what they do best, because he's able to process what's going on out there and put guys in positions where they get the ball. And by the way, Gerald, we're also seeing an emphasis now with Luka out there on the extra pass. Oh, I can get a really good shot, but he could get a better shot. So I'm going to pass him the ball.
That ball was moving much better today, and obviously Luka had a great deal to do with that, which was very good to see it move and bounce along the perimeter, which is exactly the way it should be instead of isometric ball every single time, Magic Man. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Once again, it is 123-100. The Lakers win. They're a half game out of fourth place, the Western Conference. John, let me bring you back in here. Joe talked about how the team defense, parlayed into not only Jokic not taking at what 2 of 7 overall as far as shooting, but also how it hindered the offense others other starting unit when you had Gordon, you had MPJ, and you also had Murray. Just so much work put on them, and they weren't able to get it done. They weren't as efficient as they normally are because Jokic did not put them, or was not able to put them in the best of spots. But also, if you notice, when you look at the bench for Denver, John, I think a key to this game was Russell Westbrook. And why do I say a key to that? It's because, again, I think the Lakers, or any team, if they're allowing in 17 minutes of action 24 minutes of action in 17 shots, if it's taking Westbrook 17 shots to get 17 points, and he is becoming a major part of what they have to do to win games in Denver, as we saw from his minus 15 tonight, he more than likely, and more times than not, as we saw as Lakers fans, will probably not get it done, John.
Man, thank God. And during the game, during playback, I was like, go ahead, Westbrook, keep getting them bitches up. And it was funny because he had made like 2. And then I think somebody in the chat was like, oh no, Westbrook's hidden. And I'm like, he can keep having those all game long, man. To your point, Gerald, 7 of 17 from the field and 3 of 7 from the 3-point line, y'all. To us, it was like, hell yeah, go ahead, keep getting them up. And that's kind of how I felt. And it's like to the point that we were making earlier. If Westbrook is getting up all these shots, that means that's less shots that Jokic is getting up. And if we can go any possession where Jokic isn't finishing that possession, that's a win for us. Just like how Magic Man was highlighting during the playback. The non-Jokic minutes, we had to dominate. And we did dominate the non-Jokic minutes. But on top of that, even the Jokic minutes, we were able to funnel Aaron Gordon into getting threes. We were able to funnel Westbrook into getting threes. Even Christian Braun. I mean, Christian Braun was out there getting up some open shots. And to us in the game, it's like, why are they open? But it's like, well, you got to pick your poison here, and we rather those guys be open. And I'm happy it played out that way. Very happy we got the win over Denver. And to your point, Gerald, I'll say this, man. I don't think we're championship contenders, but I find it very hard for me to go through the league and see teams that would 100%, like I know without a shadow of a doubt in my mind.
Would you categorize us as a tough out right now in the
100%,
playoffs?
100%. I would say that we are one of the toughest outs. That's not a clear championship favorite, right? I mean, I think you can look at some teams in the NBA and be like, oh, well, you're a clear, contender. Only reason why I wouldn't say we're not a clear contender is because we are really missing that big. And that big, not only is it going to help in the defensive end, but it's going to elevate Luka's game to a whole nother level. And when it elevates Luka's game to a whole nother level, that's when we can play at a whole nother level. But long story short, man, I don't see many teams in the league that want to go up against us in a 7-game series. We're more built for the playoffs. What happens? The game slows down, becomes a lot more of a half-court set, and it becomes a lot more chess, not checkers. And you know who's amazing at playing chess in half court? LeBron fucking James. You know who's amazing at playing half court chess? Luka motherfucking Doncic, the Don. So guys, I'll say we're very hard out.
Joe,
Um,
fourth place.
Go ahead.
Oh,
No, go ahead.
go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. I was honestly gonna highlight. I can't find the question. Oh, yeah, Ralph D put up a great question in the chat. I want to give him some love. He said,
Mhm.
what is the major single takeaway from this game if you had to highlight one? If I had to highlight one major takeaway is the team is gelling with Luka. Players are understanding how to play next to Luka, and they're getting an understanding of how this thing is going to work moving forward. And this is just the start of it, man. This is literally just the start of it. That's mine.
Joe, again, as we saw and we mentioned, the Lakers are now a half game out of fourth place in the Western Conference, 34-21. Surprisingly, Houston, after a good win last night, they followed it up with a loss on the road at Utah, something we at the Lakers know all too well. I mean, we're expecting, I think a lot of people in the chat as well, Houston to start free falling here at some point in time because we think that they've been overperforming. That would put the Lakers, if they continue their winning ways, to go ahead and be in fourth place in the Western Conference. Could you see anything higher for the Lakers if they continue to play like this, Joe? Or is this just a isolated sample size and we're going to get some, some of the type of play we've been seeing in the past week continue?
They're only 2 games out of the second seed in the loss column, so they have a shot at going as high as 2. They probably need a 10-game winning streak to really put that kind of in their pocket, something like that, with 27 games remaining. This is going to be their toughest stretch here, and they kind of got, in my opinion, the first one that was really difficult, going into Denver on a Saturday. They usually don't play well on Saturdays.
Yay! A
They usually
subscriber.
don't play this well in Denver. It's been an issue in Denver, and the fact that they dominated as much as they did is what really feels good. It wasn't just squeak them out and they got a call here and there and they got the advantage and won. We would have obviously taken that, not given a damn. But this was a butt whipping, and not only did they kick their ass, they kicked the MVP's ass on top of that. And that's the part where I remember we mentioned about Luka now coming to Denver. And we were saying that thinking kind of future wise, like, now Denver knows we got Luka coming. And even though Luka only had a 9-10 record coming in tonight's game from a team standpoint, Luka does very well against Denver. And you saw what he did. And the Denver Nuggets don't play him well. They've won more games. Well, now it's 10-10, but they win those games half the time. But they have a problem with this guy, and it's the fear factor, guys. It's fear. They fear LeBron. I'm not saying the teams don't fear LeBron, especially if he plays like this. But the thing with LeBron is he does get lazy sometimes during games, and he can kind of shoot himself out of games. And a lot of that comes from a mental standpoint. Like there's teams that can play that. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Sean.
I was just gonna say there is very little room for that mindset anymore, Joe.
Yes.
Of the 3 teams, of the 4 teams that are ahead of you right now, you play them all 7 times combined. You play the Rockets twice, the Nuggets twice, you play the Thunder twice, and you play Memphis one more time. So there's going to be this game wasn't just 1 yardstick. We've got 7 more yardsticks in the Western Conference before the year's over. And of the remaining teams, the Lakers have the hardest schedule of a team that is 5th or higher in either conference. The the Suns, Lakers, Denver, and I believe Milwaukee have the toughest schedule remaining. So both Denver and the Lakers have a tough schedule, and they play each other twice. So for me, Joe, I think you have to split those 2 games minimum. You can't lose both games to Denver, or I think that would be the difference there between possibly third and fourth.
The ideal ending for the regular season would be the Lakers getting the 2 or the 3 seed,
I'd be happy with a 3 seed at this
and
point.
and having Denver get the 4, and obviously Oklahoma getting the 1. If that happens, the Lakers put themselves in a position where they don't have to go through Denver and Oklahoma City. That means Oklahoma City will likely play Denver in the second round, and the Lakers will play either likely Memphis if they're a 2 or a 3, and then whoever well, that's in the second round, obviously, and then the Lakers would play whoever, in the first round at home. Hopefully LA, because that'd be less traveling. Now, the issue with playing Memphis too is the travel, but it is what it is. You take what you can get. I'd rather play Memphis than any of those teams in the second round. And that would change some things as well. That would change some things as well in terms of what this team could do, because I believe they match up very well against the Memphis team, even if they don't have Anthony Davis. And it creates, I guess when you look at it, let's say if they end up playing Oklahoma City in the Western Conference Finals, because I would pick Oklahoma City to beat Denver, even though I've picked Denver to go to the finals. If the Lakers face Oklahoma City, what they have that Oklahoma City doesn't have is they do have 2 guys that have been known to be very scary in the playoffs during their careers. There's a chance there. And if the Lakers somehow got out of that and ended up playing either Cleveland or the Boston Celtics, this would be a pretty crazy year. I mean, it would be unprecedented at that point.
I love the vim and vigor of our crowd, Gerald, just discussing the potential possibilities of the Lakers playing one of the 3 young guns and what would happen. I mean, look, let's just be frank.
Can I be Joe still?
Yo, I need to find a better word for that because you always use that stupid joke. So that's on me for falling for it. Anyway, until Memphis actually breaks through, don't believe what you see. Don't as Chuck D from said, Joe, don't believe the hype. Now OKC is actually broken through. They could get past the first round. We're going to see if that team can as well. But of those 3, 2 of them look really good. And yeah, it's true. We've got LeBron and Luka, but there's a reason why we're 5th right now. Hopefully, and I'm with Joe. I would be happy with 2 or 3. I just think 3 is more reasonable at this point, given the schedule. Gerald, you still have to play all the top 4 seeds at least 7 more times. You're hoping for a winning record, but you never know. So, I mean, if any one of those teams gets a game or 2 on you and they create that separation, it truly is the difference between being the San Antonio Spurs, who thought they were going to play the Los Angeles Lakers in the first round, and then they ended up playing the Clippers in the first round, and things didn't work out for San Antonio in that series.
So, Joe, let me ask you this. And once again, the Lakers win 123-100. They're a half game out of 4th place in the Western Conference, 34-21.
We're not. We're 5th. We are not 4th. We're 5th.
They're the half game out of 4th place. Yeah, half game out of 4th place. Yes, that's what that would make it. That would make it 5th. Yes. That's what I said. That's what I said.
I know, but the chat says we're in 4th. We're not in 4th yet.
No, we're not in 4th.
We're in 4th. We just got in the 4th.
Oh, the chat. Yeah, I see it now, Magic Man. Thank you for pointing out. YYC. Yeah, no, we're a half game behind because Houston is 35-21. We're 34-21. So we're a half game behind in 5th place. YYC. in the Western Conference. It has been updated on ESPN.com. But I'll say this, Joe. Over the course of the past few days, despite including the Luka haters that's been spewing all that trash in the field over the course of our chat the past few days, and coincidentally, all of them are either very quiet at this point in time or not even here. There's been others that are a great part of our chat that have been concerned about Luka, saying he looked depressed, saying he looked sad, saying he's looked unhappy. And even though I've told them to go to Lakers Fast Break on Twitter, I had actual proof that he looked like he was jovial, joking around, having a good time. Didn't seem to convince anybody because they saw that he just was sitting maybe at a moment where he was reflecting and thinking. This, I think, was the day that he sat out. I think that's what they really targeted. But be that as it may, Joe, he looked happy tonight. No one can say he didn't look happy tonight. Look at how he performed and look at how well he did. And look how well he was supported by his teammates when he did so. And him supporting his own teammates tonight. He looked like a happy guy who's finally starting to become acclimated to being a Laker, Joe.
It had nothing to do with him not being happy about being a Laker. It had something to do with the fact that his entire life got uprooted from under him. I know everyone thinks that because you have $1 billion, you're supposed to have this perfect life. Folks, he still got a call late at night or right before he got to bed and somebody telling him, hey, by the way, all that shit you just did buying a home over there and getting ready to sign an extension with our team just got flushed down the toilet. It's a human thing. He didn't expect it. It was a surprise. Oh, also, he lost $100 million. Have you ever lost $100 million? Well, Joe, he still has millions of dollars left. That's not the point. The point is he's still a human being. And if you have that kind of money, you're still going to get pissed and irritated and sad when you lose $100 million. And you lose your home. I'm not literally your home, but he's not in Dallas. I mean, I guess he could stay there, but it makes it very hard when you're spending half the year in LA now, right? Now he's got to go look for a new house. They probably forgot. For all we know, he might have just built everything after a year's doing that. Well, Joe, he's rich. Who cares? Well, you don't care because you're a jealous asshole. He's upset because he got treated like shit on his way out too. After all that he's done, imagine that. Imagine you play for an organization for 7 years. You give him a Rookie of the Year. You give him 5 first-team All-NBA appearances. You give him a scoring title and a finals appearance. And the thank you they give you is, this guy is fat, out of shape, and an asshole. When we have never seen this. I have never heard one bad thing about Luka from any player, any management. If anybody would have known this, it would have been Stone Hansen. He's inside that world. Never heard one damn thing. The only time I've ever heard anything negative about Luka is from the dipshit owners in Dallas. And I don't know, is Rico just sucking up to ownership? Whatever. That's it. So what's going on here? I don't give a shit. I don't care about that stuff. You've heard me say it. But this thing where you thought that this guy, you guys got to, like, in general, people are so self-absorbed in their own world. They don't realize what's going on outside that world. He's upset because he got everything pulled from under him. It has nothing to do with the Lakers. Matter of fact, I am sure by now he's like, holy shit, this actually might not be a bad thing. He's going to make more money in endorsements. He's going to have every chance to win titles for the next decade, and he will win titles, barring a major injury. So why would he be upset? The Lakers are going to pay him. He knows that they take care of their stars in LA. There's no reason to worry about Luka Doncic. No reason. And there was a play that LeBron made. I think it was the first. No, it wasn't the Utah game. It was the game before the first Utah game when he was still sitting the sidelines. He made a basket. It was an and one. He looked over to Luka and says, "This is what we're going to be doing here." And you saw tonight what these guys can do together. 33 minutes, folks. LeBron played 33 minutes tonight. And look what he did. And look how he played tonight. LeBron James, if you play like that and you win another championship, there's no more argument. You can sit with Jordan at that point.
You know what's ironic about this, about what you just said, Rooster Boy?
What's that?
Is that remember when Darvin Ham said, "Oh yeah, we're LeBron. We're gonna have LeBron on a minute restriction." The first game he played against Denver, he played like 30 minutes.
29 minutes.
Yeah,
I remember.
Out the window with that one.
Yes.
But I never faulted Darvin for that. He was trying to preserve LeBron.
You know what? We are gonna fault. We are gonna fault. Light skinned
Darvin
Mr.
Ham?
Potato Head because that was on him. It was his words. He opened his fat yap, and he's the one who said that. JJ never said anything about that. So don't let him slide on that.
No. You're not getting you're not getting that. Look, it actually proves that what he was trying to do made sense.
I see what's going on now. So I'm Luke, and you're the plantation owner, and you saying there's a failure to communicate right now. Is that so?
Let's not go there. Yeah, let's just not go there. Let's just let's ease away. If I may, Magic Man, I say that's because again, I don't want anybody interpreting anything as far as in a
from Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah,
the movie
I know.
Cool Hand Luke.
Great movie. Great choice of movies, though. I would definitely agree with you on that one. Cool Hand Luke is an absolutely great movie.
Oh, the soundtrack's amazing. It's one of the best soundtrack movies of all time. Anyway,
don't get me started. Now you're gonna make me watch like 15 spaghetti westerns in a row. Shut up, Magic Man. Stop it.
All right.
You're gonna force me to do it, man. You're gonna give me that mind control.
Gerald, can you not interrupt Sean when he says something again, please?
Shut up, Joe.
Make a point. Yes. And then you brought in this, hey, hold on. We can't say that word.
Well, I'd rather you not. Because I'm the one that feels it.
Well, what if I rather would?
Then Joe, shut up. Go ahead, Magic Man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna parachute out of that, Joe.
Darvin, are there any negative reactions on this thing? Damn, there's nothing.
I don't care. I remain unaffected by it.
I'm affected by it. It bothered me.
Yeah, of course it did. Nuclear war doesn't bother you.
Thank you, Magic Man. You're a class act, and I appreciate it. Unfortunately, we have Joe here, though. But please continue here.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was just going to emphasize the fact that, like,
my teeth too.
So. That was amazing, Gerald. That was excellent timing. That was really good. Anyway, I was just going to emphasize if Luka is the X factor and the difference there, do you really think that Darvin Ham would have essentially only played LeBron 33 minutes? I think that's a stretch. It really is. Mm-hmm. I think it was a strategic move, obviously, along with the defensive emphasis on limiting Jokic's ability to process. So I like to be fair, there was nothing. There's no outcome. There was no goal. There was no intervention that you could point to and evaluate Darvin Ham and say that somehow this situation with LeBron's minutes is somehow reflect differently now that Luka is playing. I don't believe that because I don't think he's smart enough to make that kind of concession from a coaching perspective.
Magic Man, great call there. Absolutely. Yeah, great insight. So the one thing I do want to ask when it comes to LeBron, because as you know, Magic Man, as you know, Joe, we get a lot of flack. Got dozens and dozens of comments on a weekly basis saying that we're LeBron haters, and dozens of comments saying that we are LeBron stans. So, as you say, Joe, we're always somewhere down the middle if that's the case, when so many people think about us in both directions. But LeBron's performance tonight alongside Luka, it's what we need to see, Joe. But the fact is, he showed up today. They played defense. They played defense hard together. He didn't take plays off. It seemed like Luka and LeBron knew what they needed to do in front of a national TV audience tonight. They needed to make a statement of what this potential of this team could really do, and LeBron did get it done. Haters be damned. LeBron showed you on both sides of the ball what he can do when he gives you the energy tonight that we saw, Joe.
Well, he had the energy because he didn't play for 15 minutes in a 48-minute game. The lead kept going up when he sat down. That's the advantage of having someone like Luka. Luka is a scary opponent. You can't relax with him. And LeBron is the same way, except if you have a good enough front, you can somewhat neutralize LeBron at this stage in his career, because you just make him shoot more baskets. You see, he didn't shoot a lot of baskets tonight. And Denver is not necessarily a good defensive team. Matter of fact, they had hinted at the beginning of the game that they let teams kind of run up the score on them, especially at the beginning of the game. The Lakers took advantage of that. The only difference is they didn't relinquish it in the second half, because they've done that so many times against Denver in the last few years. And the reason why they couldn't is because the Denver Nuggets had to work on both sides. So when they came back at the beginning of the third, they had the energy coming out of at halftime. But as soon as the Lakers kind of reciprocated, you could see the body language change. They're like, oh. Because it's hard. It's hard for guys like Jamal Murray, who isn't necessarily a good defender. Same thing with Aaron Gordon. Michael Porter Jr. isn't necessarily a kind of a shutdown type guy either, even though he has the athleticism to do it if he focused on it. That's not what the team is. And the Lakers just had a mentality tonight, a confidence in a lot of ways that looked like a championship type medal. That's a beautiful thing. Even when they didn't make shots, even though they might have had a couple of bad possessions, it didn't really affect them. Look at what Vincent, as a perfect example. He missed almost every open shot until that dagger at the end. That is key. We're frustrated as Laker fans. We're frustrated at Gabe Vincent. But if Gabe Vincent is going to come through when they really need it, that's his role. That's why he's an $11 million a year guy. You have to understand that. And for I don't want to keep addressing this, the shade over LeBron. Folks, when you are the guy, when you're the quarterback, when you're LeBron James, when you're Steph Curry, Kobe, when you win, you get all the glory, right? Do they talk about John Paxson or Bill Wennington or Luke Longley when they talk about the Jordan teams winning? Do they talk about those guys winning championships, even though they were integral parts of that team? Ron Harper? No, everything is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan. Same thing with Kobe. Same thing with Shaq. Same thing with LeBron. I hold LeBron James to a higher standard. It's unfortunate that you guys didn't see this before we got onto a podcast. I was the same way with Kobe. I was the same way with Shaq. Just didn't have a forum to explain it. And tonight's game for LeBron, he played like prime LeBron in my book. It wasn't all numbers either. It was the way he played. And then when he wasn't playing, the team kept going up. If the Lakers do that, then no one's beating them.
Go ahead, Sean.
Paxton, not Paxton.
Go ahead, Sean.
Did your face freeze, Sean? You all right?
To the
I was
panel.
just gonna say,
Is it
Joe,
cold in Toronto still?
it's very cold up here, Joe. Very cold. There's nowhere else to put the snow, man.
I
That
know.
picture you sent
If it
was
snows,
crazy, Sean.
if it snows anymore, we're gonna be buried in snow.
Sean, that picture you sent was insane.
Yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a good 8 feet. You gotta peer out from neighborhoods now in Toronto traffic, Gerald, just to see over the snowbanks because they're about 12 feet high.
Wow.
Was just gonna say, Gerald, another important factor to point out here, Gerald. There was not one Laker tonight that was put in a position where the coaching staff had to be forced into relying on somebody else, either offensively or defensively. Now, two things have happened since you really played Denver in a competitive matchup. One, there's no Darvin Ham. Two, there's no D'Angelo Russell. And Jared Vanderbilt was not played off the floor tonight either, even though he played strong
6
minutes, but still did not allow playing time out there. So you didn't allow Mike Malone to advantageously pick apart somebody that he wanted, because we always found that whenever it was D'Lo and usually Austin Reeves out there, the Denver Nuggets and specifically Jokic and Malone were able to pick on them. Tonight, you were able to put Austin Reeves on Michael Porter Jr. And as Joe succinctly pointed out, and it's Porter Jr. that's been an X factor, especially from beyond the arc. But you were able to hide Austin Reeves on a struggling Michael Porter Jr. tonight, Gerald. There were a lot of strategic moves that we didn't really think about when Luka was acquired, that have basically kind of turned a corner and made you see that at least defensively, you can pretty much go toe to toe with a team like this, and you're a better offensive team than they are now that you've acquired Luka.
Well said, my friend. Well said indeed. Once again, we got over 100 in the chat. Truly appreciate it. It is, of course, the Lakers winning 123-100. Lakers are a half game out of fourth place, the Western Conference. John, I'm going to start with you as far as from Sports Baby on the Super Chat. Truly appreciate the $8 Australian style Sports Chat. Truly appreciate you doing down on the Super Chat there. To the panel, whose team is this now? Luka is on the Lakers. Great show. I get that we all want to start saying it's Luka's team or it's still LeBron's team or and all that. I know that I keep having this discussion with Gregory Brown where he just oh yeah, it's Luka's team now. They're going to get rid of LeBron, blah 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 blah, and all that. I'm like, well, LeBron is not going to go anywhere unless he chooses to. That's what.
Yeah, Gerald, I would say it's as simple as this. At this point in time, LeBron has to be deferential to Luka on the basketball court and allow Luka to have the basketball in his hands. As far as who is our leader, it is still number 23. He's still the leader of this team.
And he's got a no-trade clause.
He's the heartbeat of the team. Luka's our central nervous system out on the court. But there is a shared vision that they both have. They both have different strengths and weaknesses. I think it's blossoming. And we just knew it was a matter of time, Gerald. So to me, LeBron is still the spiritual and emotional leader of this team. Luka is the central nervous system.
Yes. And
go ahead.
Essentially,
well said, Magic Man. Yes,
that is very, very well said, Magic. Because that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, like, when we're talking about like on the court and as far as who we're going to build this team around, like roster construction wise, it's going to be Luka Doncic. So why the fuck would you build around a 40-year-old man that we know is starting to make his way out? It's so funny how every time I cuss, Joe just like acts like it's the biggest thing. But no, So that's that that's on that end, right? But it's still LeBron's. It's still LeBron's. Like LeBron still's running this shit, right? Without LeBron say certain shit isn't happening around here. Now I do think, and one point that I will say is that I think that LeBron James was a Lakers cash cow, and we understood that the Lakers care a lot about money, and LeBron James, he's bringing in money because just of who his name is. So I think that's why Genie and the Lakers organization were ready to bend over backwards for him, do whatever it is in the world for him, because he was a cash cow. Now, what I'll say is, I do think that slowly they're going to incorporate Luka into being a cash cow, so they'll start bending over backwards a little bit less for LeBron James. But that's not coming, at least for, in my opinion, at least another like two or three other years. But on the court, we are definitely, and I think we can definitely all agree that this is going to be Luka's team. Luka's going to be the primary option. When Luka's off the court, this will be LeBron's team, and there will be stretches when Luka's on the bench, getting some rest, where the team will be the offenses ran around LeBron, but essentially this is really Luka's team here for the future, and he's going to not only become the cash cow, but he's going to become the man who we build around, the face of the franchise. Can't believe we got Luka, guys. Really can't.
First of all, this whose team is it? Started with Shaq and Kobe, and it needs to end.
Great.
It really needs to stop. This whose team is it really is getting on my nerves.
I was just answering a question.
There is no whose team it is. The Lakers are the Lakers, and Luka and LeBron are equally going to destroy your ass if they're on. If each one is going to have an advantage with the ball, depending on who they're matching up with. Now you want Luka to be, if you had to choose to control the offense, you want Luka for a couple reasons. Number one, he's more of a perimeter threat from a shooting standpoint without having to be set. And then the other thing is you are resting LeBron if he doesn't have to control the ball all day, every day. Those are two very, very scary things against the opponent, and you saw it tonight. You saw it tonight. 2 times that LeBron sat for a good amount of minutes. They increased the lead. That is scary to the opponent. So much so that even Sean is scared, and it's his team.
Adam, but you think we give a rat's ass about a regular season win?
That's the problem, bro. Casual right there.
This
is bigger than the win.
You think this is just a 23-point win against the Nuggets, don't you schmuck?
Wait, what did Butt say?
He said, "Congrats on the regular season win."
We count championships here. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Well, look,
5,
I
6,
addressed
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
The point of the discussion is,
and we don't raise banners other than when they force us to, other than championships. So it's not just one regular season win. It's 17 going for 18. Now, if you would please, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
Well, that's fine. He can stay. But you know what? There are still a lot of haters out there. Even the chat, they're meekly trying to put up their defense, even though they got all shut up as a collective tonight. Even Nick T, who tried to tell us, keep one more game. Can we just talk basketball? Can we just talk about? It's just so meek because he was all pumping his chest out. Yeah, Luka sucks. Oh, should have kept the trade, blah, 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 blah. All those haters, Joe, for so long since the trade, always complaining, always didn't see what we saw, what this trade could be all about, what this trade could be in the short term, and what we saw tonight, just a taste of what Luka could do for us in the long term, Joe. They just didn't get it. But after tonight, they better get it now.
I don't care about this.
Well,
Can we talk about the game?
People are warriors. They just
I don't
love.
care. I don't care.
Mhm.
I think it's fun to talk here and there, but really, I'm kind of it's you kind of already did it. This you can't reason with nonsense.
We don't
Any-
negotiate with terrorists.
Anyone who didn't agree getting a 25-year-old, if Luka retired after the end of this year, he would go to the Hall of Fame. That's how good he is.
Straight up.
He already has the stats, except for a title. That's it. He's got a Western Conference Finals MVP. I already told you the other stuff. The guy's done everything in such a short amount of time other than win a championship. And the reason why he didn't win a championship, sorry if this bothers you too, guys, but I said this before he became a Laker. Go to the archives. If Kyrie Irving didn't eat shit for 5 games in the finals, they would have won that. They would have run that series. And I asked a few guys, I said, what if LeBron was in place of Kyrie Irving in the finals? I have full confidence in saying this, that the Dallas Mavericks would have won the title.
Tough one.
Kyrie Irving looked like James Harden in the 2012 finals. He was terrible. He got destroyed. So, the Lakers right now are doing tonight, I'll get to that in a second here, G. Tonight, even though I probably shouldn't because it's just nonsense, but tonight is what you saw. Tonight, what you saw tonight is why we were mute. At least I was mute the first couple hours after this trade happened. This tonight, what you saw tonight, that's what the instincts created in my brain, because that's, you watch basketball as much as we do, all of us. These are the things that manifest in your brain. Imagine, oh my God, wait, you're telling me that Luka at 25 about to hit his prime 2, prime square? That's a better one, prime square. Now I feel like John Price. I feel smart now. And you're telling me with a motivated LeBron James who keeps playing well, and you just traded for a guy who plays some defense and a guy that was starting to play really well shooting wise, and he plays good. Come on, guys. How are you not seeing it? Why? Why would you even think? And this is with AD playing for 14 minutes and pulling an ab or whatever the hell he pulled. And he's out for a month and a half. That would have been the Lakers. He would have pulled that muscle playing for the Lakers, and we'd be fucked right now. That should have shut you all up. Just that. But I don't mind it. It creates this kind of tone, but that's because I'm messed up like that. Most people, you want nice things. It's flowers, and let's support each other, and let's be positive.
Joe likes pulling the pin.
Let's be positive. Let's go out to the world and hello, everyone. How are you today? Are you having a good day, sir? Yes. I'm glad you're having a good day. Thank you. I don't operate like that.
Joe's a psycho Bob Ross.
I go out in the world, and the first thing I'm thinking is, who is this? And it could be the lady at Lowe's checking me out. I'm talking about the items, not checking me out.
Whoa.
Be checking me out.
Whoa, Joe.
Yeah, checking me out. Checking my items out.
All right, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Joe.
That's not what he meant, by the way. That's not what he meant. That is not what he meant.
You can choose to believe what you want, folks. It is what it is. Checking me out. That sounds like good English, right? Isn't that what she does at the supermarket? They check you out.
Yep. Ring you up.
They're called checkers.
Okay. Anyways. You gonna let me finish?
Sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
Okay. So you guys got my drift on that one. I'm not going to continue it because you guys screwed it up. But the key here is this is what we envisioned. We envisioned this, and it's important that you enjoy it. Enjoy it. Stop talking about when I throw shade on LeBron when it's true. You can call it tired. You can call it lazy. It's lazy, okay? I'm watching the games. There's no reason for LeBron to be shooting threes when he shouldn't be shooting threes. It has nothing to do with laziness. It's called bad decisions. And if everybody makes them and LeBron makes them, it's just, get a grip on that. But tonight, he didn't make any bad plays tonight. Tonight, he didn't make a single bad play from what I saw. And and a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's got a guy now that came in tonight and finally started doing him. And if Luka's going to be doing this, y'all going to really feel it. You're going to really understand what's going on for the first time maybe in your lives.
One turnover, Joe. One turnover from him tonight after 11.
And getting to the basket, the way he was getting to the basket, another deflating play over and over again where the team is just sitting there. I'm talking about Denver going, oh, how the hell are we going to guard this guy? We can't get him to just shoot threes? No, sorry. And then Luka hitting those 27-footers. That's demoralizing, guys. Get used to it, NBA, because it's coming, and it's going to be coming regularly.
Once again, it is the Lakers winning 123-100. It is John Costa, Magic Man Sean Grice, and Joe Soro, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe to get the latest notifications on when we go live with another Lakers Fast Break. No Lakerholics this weekend, but we'll get you covered. We'll make sure we got you covered for tomorrow. And then on Monday as well, we'll have some NBA Lakers content to get you prepped up for Tuesday's game against the Dallas Mavericks, Magic Man. Well, what do you know? What's around the corner for the Mavs at home at the Crypt, coming off of Luka's best performance as a Laker? A subscriber. Thank you, Rasul, for subscribing. Truly appreciate it. But your thoughts, Magic Man, as we head into our next matchup against the Mavs.
Yeah, 100%.
Yay, a subscriber.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
I need to figure out how to do these fucking sound effects.
Hey, Sean, you're not close enough to the camera. Come a little bit closer. I want to see those coaxials coming out of your nose.
So we're playing
What you
the
gonna
Dallas
do?
Mavericks coming up, Gerald, and that's going to be very interesting. I don't expect a lot of fireworks, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, he could go off for 50, but I wouldn't. I don't expect that. I just expect him to just want to kick their ass. I mean, whether he scores 50 or grabs a triple double. But yeah, I mean, that's a game you have to win. I mean, whether or not he has jitters early on, I wouldn't be too surprised. And somebody else needs to get going to start off the game. But I expect a performance like this it usually propels you to a winning streak, Gerald. So it wouldn't shock me if the Lakers took this and ran with it and tried to win 6 or 7 in a row here.
Good. Absolutely. That's what we want to hear. Oh, by the way, Joe, to answer a question you had the other day, the answer is Chip Chandler. And I am Biff Bronson. So
Yes. Biff Bronson.
That's me. You're Chip
I
Chandler.
forgot that it was Bronson. That's a good one. Biff Bronson.
I am Biff Bronson.
Yeah, that's good.
Chandler.
That's good. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to have to return with those guys.
So the Chet one is going to be the negative one.
Okay.
That's a good one. Even though we made a mistake, it actually birthed the negative guy. So Chip is positive. Chet is the negative.
Yes. Absolutely. We're going to have to get on those sweaters. Turn on the sweaters.
It's going to be sweaters with Chip.
Glasses. Yep.
And then when it's Chet, it's going to be maybe buzz cuts and cigars.
Oh, watch out. Watch out. John, let me get you back in here. Standard Robert Wheeler question.
I'm trimming. Hold on, I'm trimming Sean's nose hairs with my My cursor, my mouse cursor.
Fair enough. I think I need a sponsor for this one. The Robert Wheeler question of the day. I'll get you right now on this, John. Do you think the tough schedule for the Lakers is better for LA because it'll be easier to focus versus games against the Baby Hornets? Do you see any chance the Lakers lose to Dallas next game? Because I don't.
Honestly, I said this. I've said this a long time ago, but I really said it on wax. I think like 2 or 3 streams ago. The one where when we had lost to the Hornets. Yeah, the game right after All-Star break. We tend to play down to teams level and then play up to teams levels. I don't know what it is with us, but it takes us to get punched in the mouth. Like there's every once in a while a rare game we'll punch a team in the mouth and we'll just keep going at them all game long, But most games it happens that the Lakers get punched in the mouth early and then either stay in that hole if it's by a really, really elite team, or they get they come out lackadaisical. They get punched in the mouth, and then something wakes them up to make them go. And against the bad teams, we end up pulling it back, coming back around. Like I think it was the Blazers game when it was it was the Blazers game. It was the last game where it was just way too close. Like it was just way too close. And I think that a lot of the times the Lakers, they knew they were the far better team, and that's why they were able to peel off every single time. But they would have to get punched in the mouth for them to be like, all right, you know what? Let's peel off on this team. So I say that to say the Lakers having a tough schedule is honestly probably good for us because it'll help us play up to that level. But I want to know what's so funny here, Joe and Sean.
Go ahead.
Ask Jackhammer.
He loves it. He loves it.
You know what's funny about that is I got to return my jackhammer to my friend. Get it?
I see, ladies and gentlemen, I got some watery discharge out of his laugh there.
Okay, and on that note,
You okay, Gerald? Well, you never heard discharge before without thinking weird things?
I know, yeah.
On this show, when you guys associate discharge, it always goes to the lowest common denominator.
Okay, fair enough.
You are a lower common denominator.
Lower common denominator. Oh, yeah,
that's what I said.
That was not very well executed on your part.
I thought it was hilarious.
Hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. You
got a problem with that?
Always with you. But anyways, let's get back to you again.
You forgot your briefcase.
Fred says Luka is capable of going on a run late in the season. 3 years ago, he carried the Mavs to the playoffs the last part of the season. Would not be shocked if he goes on a scoring spree the next 20 games. Do you feel he's about ready to go on one of those scoring sprees, Joe? Do you think he's just still getting him back into the game shape we know he can get himself into, but it's going to take a little more time? Your thoughts on that?
Well, this is his 4th game back. I'm going to say Luka at full force is probably going to be another 3 weeks. It doesn't mean that they're not going to win and stay consistent, but it's a scary thing, though. If they do end up playing well and winning, let's say 3 out of every 4 games, yeah, there's going to be a problem once he gets right. If he doesn't have a lingering issue with that calf, folks, he is going to be a problem. And we are going to be here to tell everyone what that problem is, if in case they don't understand how to diagnose it. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Just want to show some love.
You got a problem? You better call
somebody. What the hell are these guys talking about? I never know what the hell they're talking about.
Kurt,
yes, I do know you're talking about the returning head writer for SmackDown in Road Dogg. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Kurt said we need some more John air horns, so gave a quick air horn, and then Sports Baby's been asking me to say this all night long since I said it from the playback. Look, guys, it was more of like a right there in the moment. You had to see it, but I would hope everybody in this chat knows what Austin Reeves play like, and Austin Reeves plays like a nigga. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh,
That's what that Swerve has been asking ever since
we
playback.
don't do hard ERs here, folks. Just
It's
the
not
A.
hard.
Well,
It
no,
wasn't a
Jared
hard
can't
ER.
say anything because that's a black man saying
It's
that.
the
Yeah,
black man saying
exactly.
it.
That's what you get, Gerald.
It's a black man saying it. So
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
worry.
If you got a problem with that, Gerald, we're going to talk to the ACLU about it. Be careful.
Okay, Gerald. That was a pretty good comeback by Joe. You have to admit that.
Hey, Dan hasn't been here in a while, and Dan's been complimenting me on the fact that I haven't been a psychopath today. Is that normal?
Ah, come on. Joe's
I'm
good.
a happy guy, guys.
You're a good
You
guy.
got to hang
Joe.
out with me.
You're a good guy, Joe.
All right. On that note, it is,
Like
of
I
course,
said,
the Lakers
record
fast break.
screeched on that one.
Truly appreciate
Like,
No Joker
come on,
for the
let's
super
get
chat,
real here.
the donation. And also, as well, of course, we do have people that pay money to go ahead and share their thoughts. Sports baby kid. Hey John, how does Reeves play like you said? That's how he got it. There you go. You're very
Chris,
descriptive.
the art director.
But when Reeves is playing like that, John, thank you, Chris. Truly appreciate it. John, when AR is playing as you described, how difficult is it for the other team to go ahead and defend it when you have three playmakers playing to that capability, John?
It's hard because you got three players who, to Joe's point, can all score and go at you in the same way. Appreciate it, Chris, my dog. But you got three players who go at you in the same way. So and then you get to the point where it's like, damn, like, all right, I'm trying to weather this storm of Luka coming at me every single time, and then now next time I got Bron coming at me every single time, and then Austin Reeves, he come at you in a little bit of a different way. Austin Reeves come at you with more of a bag, more of getting to it. Luka and LeBron, all they are, guys, are just simply very simple moves executed perfectly. Austin Reeves got a bag and he gonna break you down, tween behind the back, spin move, all this and all that, right? And to me, it's like when you got all three of those guys clicking, come on, man, that's when teams can really be on. Teams could be fucking screwed. They could be screwed over, man, because we got all three of these guys playing like this. It'll be a whole nother level. And JSJ, I appreciate you, brother. I gotta work on some, get someone in the works here, get some merch cracking up here. But man, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you got three guys hooping out of their mind. What can you do? You got three players who are going to keep coming at you consistently, and there's not a single team in the league has an answer for Luka. Not a single team in the league has an answer for Bron when he really got it turned up. I don't know if I want to say not a single team in the league has an answer for Austin Reeves, because that I feel like that might be a little premature saying that. But there's not a lot of teams in the league that do got an answer for him at that position. So it's a pretty fucking good team, man. Bam, bam, bam. Joe.
Joe, you need
There
the
indeed.
horn.
That's hey, look at Kurt's comment. Kurt said Austin Reeves plays like
Jeff sent me some material links to the soundboard is next for my stuff so that we can have easier access to sound bites.
like that.
I don't like that kind of talk.
Now listen here. I don't like that kind of talk.
We're gonna use that one a lot.
It upsets me.
Magic Man Shared is asking, she's stating that she really feels like we have three legitimate stars now. Do you feel that same way?
No. I think we have two legitimate superstars and a very, very good complementary third scorer. That's what I would describe Austin Reeves as. I think he's a very good complementary third option. Dribble drive game able to be now the team's secondary or even tertiary facilitator drill. Very capable. Uh, but uh, to me, here's the difference, right? A superstar averages anywhere from 25 plus consistently per night. If you're a star, you average around 20 to 23, 24 a night consistently. Now, Reeves is a hair below that, Gerald. He's just below that kind of metric. So I wouldn't go as far as to call him a star just yet. But his game has matured greatly. And he does have a very nice complementary skill set to the other two superstars he plays with. Just not there yet, but there is potential.
Young Advocate says Reeves is more than a scorer, Magic Man.
I I just I just went through calling him as either a secondary or tertiary facilitator. Just got through saying that he's perfectly capable of running the offense. He's just not a star. He just doesn't fit the definition yet.
Okay. So one thing I want to bring back to you, John, is again everybody's saying, "Oh man, we're such a great team. We just need to add another player along the perimeter to play some defense and then maybe shoot some threes." But obviously, we need a big man in the middle, John. And of course, this was probably Jackson Hayes' finest hour as a defensive player, a guy who has repeatedly found himself lost in the defensive end. Tonight, did not do so, but he got a lot of help as the Lakers did play an outstanding defensive game today, including him. But with that said, John, how far do you think this team can go with the limited amount of center help that they have?
This team will go as far as LeBron and Luka can take us, especially without that center. If we get that center, I really do believe, and depending on who that center is, this team immediately jumps into championship contention. And real quick, Chris, I just DM'd you, my brother, so we can get some cracking about that because Chris, I seen you do amazing work, the art director. But look, this is what I'll say. Like until we get that real center, I feel like we're right there on the line of I don't know if we can consider ourselves real contenders, but we absolutely are hard out just because of what I said of Luka constantly coming at you, LeBron coming at you, Reeves coming at you, and then you gotta, eventually you're gonna have a good game from your Rubies like how we had today. Eventually you're gonna have your Dorian Finney-Smith good games, your Gabe good games, and whatnot. But until we get that real center, I don't think we can actually go into that next level of contention because that center not only is it going to bring rim protection, but it's also going to really it's really going to elevate Luka's game to a whole nother level. And once Luka's game elevates, like man, I'll tell you what, guys, like for those of you guys out there that don't maybe watch or play basketball too much, if you can get the right angle on a pick and roll, and Luka does it almost every single time, so the floor damn near becomes wide open. You're essentially playing. If you can get the right angle, you could damn near play 3-on-5 every single time. You can get the right angle. You could eliminate the defender of the roll man and the defender of the guy who was handling the ball. So it's like all you need is a center who can set some solid screens and be mobile. And Luka, as we've seen with Hayes, will elevate their game. So it's like when this center comes, it brings rim protection. It elevates Luka's game. It elevates the Big's game, and that's what puts us in that next that next level. But until we get that big, I think that we can't be real. I don't think we can be considered real contenders, but we can definitely be considered a scary out. And it'd be hard for teams to beat us in a 7-game series.
I gotta say, YYS, next year you're gonna all right, put a 2-4 on it. Put a 2-4 a beer on it, because I guarantee you next year Austin Reeves is gonna be an all-star. And not only he might actually start for the West because way back when, and this is before some people's times, Gerald, the Lakers had 4 All-Stars in 1997, 1998. They had Nick Van Exel, they had Eddie Jones, they had Kobe Bryant, they had Shaquille O'Neal. And the fans wanted to see Mike versus Kobe. And they got their wish because the fans voted Kobe in as a starter. That's going to likely happen again next year because I know somebody said my expectations of Reeves next year is going to be an all-star. Next year is going to be the first time since 1997, 1998 that the Lakers have had 3 or more all-stars on the team.
Okay, that's a very bold prediction right there for you.
It's on record. So next year, if it doesn't happen, let me know. But I just letting everybody know, I've seen the tectonic plates of a move like this before that happened with the Los Angeles Lakers, and it created a buzz. And Laker fans, like senior citizens, Gerald, vote in droves for the All-Star game if a Laker player can get in there. And now that Luka has an international flair tied to the Lakers, there's no way that those 3 aren't all-stars next year. No way.
Once again, it is the Lakers winning 123-100. They are now 34-21 on the season, half game out of 4th place in the Western Conference. Joe, actually, they are tied. Yeah, they have moved percentage points. ESPN did make the final adjustment on it. So, YYC, I think we're going to owe you an apology. They are in 4th place in the Western Conference, 4 percentage points ahead of the Houston Rockets. They did not change it for 20 minutes, so we will give you the props on that and the correction on that, YYC, because we can't admit we're wrong when we are. So they are 4th place in the Western Conference after the ESPN finally adjusted it. Hey, Sports Baby says, "What's a guy averaging a triple-double, Sean?" So I think you're answering him on that. Truly appreciate the super chat. But Joe, I think we'll go ahead and save some of the final comments for you because we'll get it out around 2 hours, and we'll just say this is a very satisfying victory. You and I, for the most part, take a lot of heat on this show and on this channel on a constant basis for what we say. And from the get-go, we said this is good. This is going to be a great trade. And one of the greatest trades in Lakers history, not only what it does for short term, but what it does for the long term. And I'm hoping for people that after tonight, every Lakers fan can start getting on board and realizing how right, even though I was wrong on the thing today as far as the standings, how right we were about the Luka trade.
Well, the heat is there because I'm the spark that starts the fire.
Wow.
So
God damn, that was a good call.
Know that as long as you watch this show, know that. That was for my boy John and my boy Empire Jeff because he likes quotes sometimes.
That was really good. Say that again.
I'm the spark that starts the fire. So the heat is what energizes the discussion. It's what gives this show life. And you can always tell from a bumbling pussy by how offended they get at the simplest, I guess, detraction. And for us here, this detraction is just more oxygen to that fire. And it's just going to keep growing and growing. And we're quite excited about how big this can grow. God help non-Laker fans. God help them when the Lakers start winning. And I'm talking about start winning titles again.
God damn.
Because if you think it was bad when we were pissed off at Genie and Pelinka, you have not seen anything yet. If you were around me during the three-peat, this is even before I had what I have now in my arsenal. I was pretty tame back when I was about to get out of college and trying to be a good guy, try to get a corporate job and all that horse shit. And then as the Kobe and Gasol era came, I guess life's experiences started to grow. And then, of course, when I hit my 40s, it wasn't even fair at that point because I had a backlog of history and experiences. And I can go into 2020 when the Lakers won that title, and there was so much heat from the fact that it was a bubble championship. And I went off pretty well on everybody around me. We're trying to discredit it. And they had no shot. I mean, they were getting destroyed left and right. No shot.
Just like neighbor I have.
Yeah, it was great too because the Dodgers and the Lakers won championships within a month's time. That usually doesn't happen, right? The basketball ends in June. Baseball ends usually at the end of October or beginning of November. So it was like, not only did you have to deal with the Lakers winning, but you also had to deal with the fact that my baseball team won, and that they were all trying to make excuses on why and what. And I was just basically putting them over the cliff and saying, Doc Holliday style, say when. Anyways, we are here to narrate what we see. And the only people that are going to get upset are those who don't understand the story. The story is what it is. We're just narrating it. And it doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter if you're the greatest. Doesn't matter if you're marginal. Doesn't matter if you're a two-way player. Doesn't matter, guys. You have to look at what you see and you have to explain what happens. A pretty good point tonight was there was a small little spurt, and I loved seeing this with Jordan Goodwin. So LeBron, when Jordan Goodwin came in, actually ran a really good play. And LeBron found him about, what was it, like 6 feet from the basket? And he had space to just essentially just kind of do a little floater or maybe take a couple steps and get close to the basket. But he got scared, right? I mean, I had never seen Goodwin in a game like this before, so I don't have any comparison other than what I saw at that moment. He passed it out, and it ended up coming back at him when it was too late, and it became this 24-second violation, right? And right away, we're like, what the hell's going on? This and that. But then what did he do? What did he do after that? He learned his lesson. The next time he was in the same situation, he lobbed it, hit the backboard, went in. And then not too long after that, hit a three. That right there, when guys like that, I call it Shannon Browning. For those who have been watching the Lakers for the last 15 years, 16 years. Because Shannon Brown, God bless him, athletic freak, very good teammate, very, kind of was part of that good chemistry on the team, but he wasn't the guy that you can kind of really rely on, but he had those moments where he'd make a play and everyone loved him. I know so many Laker fans, including my dad, God rest his soul, who loved watching Shannon Brown play because he'd have these highlight plays every now and then, and we just loved it, right? So it was nice to see that. And we're narrating what we saw. We're telling you what we saw here. And we told you something good and we told you something bad. So it doesn't matter if it's the Goodwins, doesn't matter if it's LeBron, doesn't matter if it's Pau Gasol back in the day, Kobe Bryant, doesn't matter. Bottom line is we're going to tell you what we see. And that is the most important part of this. And how we interpret it here, we'll be wrong a few times. We know that. But we're going to be right more. And right now, if you want to, why do you keep pulling this shit up? We already know what it is.
Shut up, Joe.
We know they're in fourth place. I told you this like an hour ago.
Joe.
So roll with us, be with us. But if you want to talk shit too, that's fine too. I kind of enjoy it. I know Sean enjoys it.
I like it. I like it too.
John,
Sean,
John enjoys it, but I think he enjoys it within the group. I think ultimately, John is a nice guy. He wants to have nice things around him.
I'm with the smoke. If somebody wants to bring it that
Okay,
way,
good. Then we're all on the same page.
I'm down for
young
that.
Yeah, unlike most people, myself and Joe are comfortable being uncomfortable.
Absolutely. I think that's the most successful people are that. Bam, bam, bam.
Young, it says, do you agree that the Denver bench is pretty weak and not deep at all? I know you and I at the beginning of the season were having a back and forth on how the bench would be, and I did not have confidence in their
That was
bench.
last year, Gerald.
Was that last year or the year before?
It
Or
was
this-
last year. They're even worse this year. So I
Okay.
learned my. Yeah,
You learned your lesson. Okay.
I did because even though Brown kind of had a good first 40 games, Gerald, he's come back to earth the last 15 or so. Yeah, their bench is the depth isn't there anymore. I'm not the so Johnny said that we're tough out. I would say that the lore of thinking Denver is a scary team to play has worn off.
Yeah.
That veneer is gone. I'm not threatened by those wings. I think the Lakers have better wings. I think the Grizzlies have better wings than they do. I think the Rockets and Thunder can all claim to have better wings than them. They're very Jokic centric. They become very similar to what we saw with the Cavs, Gerald, during I would say around 2016 to 2018. A team that, +4, +5 with him most nights. When he's off, they're like a -8, -10. Very similar to those Cavs teams that cannot sustain a lead or keep a lead or even keep you within arm's distance if Jokic was having a bad night. And that's what happened tonight as well. They needed somebody to step off the bench, and there's nobody there. There's nobody. They haven't essentially gutted their depth, but their depth has been a deficit since the offseason of 2 years ago. You lost Jeff Green, you lost Bruce Brown. You also lost your ability to layer that depth, because oftentimes what Mike Malone would like to do is keep Murray off the court for the last few minutes of the first quarter and the first half of the second quarter. He's not able to do that as much in the past year, and that's going to be a problem in the playoffs because they rely on Murray as a big playoff performer, but Jamal does have a bit of an injury history. And if you can't layer rest with somebody like that, it might be a problem.
John, great victory tonight. Well said, Magic Man, indeed. But of course, you've got a channel too, in fact, that you got to go ahead and make sure that you let the people know out there what you're cooking up. So what are you cooking up for your great channels, Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk?
Yes, check me out, guys. I got another Lakers channel you can check me out at. It's called Lakers Corner. I actually today hit 2,000 subscribers on Lakers Corner, so
Congratulations.
everybody that has so please go check it out. Please go show some love. On Instagram is at Lakers_corner. TikTok it's at Lakers Corner 24. And Twitter it's Lakers Corner 2. But appreciate all you guys love, man. Check me out. I do game recaps on there, some film breakdowns, do some shorts. But man, what a fucking win, guys. What a win. Great team win. And even better to be here with all the Lakers family, everybody that's here in the chat. Gerald, my brother, Joe, my brother, Sean, my brother. It's great.
Shout out to Zach, who got to see
Zach.
the game live in Denver.
Oh, yes, he was at the game, which is really cool. And yeah, come Monday, I'm hopping on my Zoom chat and being like, "Yeah, that's right, the Denver office, suck it," because they were like, "Oh wow, John, like how you feel like Denver's gonna beat the Lakers like always?" And I was like, wouldn't be so confident about that, guys.
So you're doing that Zoom thing on Monday at 4:30, right? You said,
Yes,
is that what
yes,
correct?
correct. Monday at 4:30. I'm gonna have a roundtable Q&A. Joe, Magic Man, you're more than welcome to come if you want to. To be real with you, what I'm doing, and this is really good for all of us, is they're like three like pretty big Lakers content creators on Instagram. Like one of them has like 70K followers, so I'm just trying to get a big message out to them, right? And I told them like, yo, let's do a stream together Q&A. See, the chat can hop on or whatever. Chat can ask whatever we want. Just talk Lakers, and they'll tell all their folks, and then that'll bring everybody here to the Lakers Fast Break and Lakers Corner, and then boom, just helping the channel grow more. So Joe, Gerald, Sean, if you guys want to join, Monday at 4:30 Pacific.
There you go. Absolutely. I'll make sure it's set up for you on your channel, so we'll make sure everything's going. Once again, it is Lakers Corner Clutch Talk. It'll be a nice forum talking Lakers at 4:30 p.m. Pacific. He's got it scheduled right there. We'll have it up for everybody here to make sure you don't miss it. We will come back with a show tomorrow because the Lakerholics look like they're taking a weekend off. But Joe, great victory tonight. Lakers are in 4th place in the Western Conference. 123-100 victory. All the silence now, all the quiet from all those Luka haters. Not a sound. Not a sound. Go ahead, Magic Man.
All is bright.
I was going to say, this is the sound of silence.
Mm-hmm.
I got you, Chris. I'm gonna send you the link to the Q&A, Chris.
As I said in Pulp Fiction, it's a comfortable silence, Gerald.
Yes,
and when Luka haters disappear into their rat holes.
Nick T is one of them. He says, just one game.
When you disappear into your rat holes.
That's all he's been able to say the entire time. Just one game. Joe, is it just one game? Let us know your thoughts before we head on.
I'll tell you guys this, folks, in case you forgot. Dallas is coming into town on Tuesday. What do you think Luka's going to do then?
Go for a 80 burger.
You know, his teammates are going to be like, we're going to hook you up tonight. Look for Luka to drop 40 on Tuesday. And when he does, he's going to be talking a lot of shit. Luka is him. We say Austin Reeves is him. We say that he is him. But Luka is him.
And you know who's going to be doing it on?
Very competitive Luka Doncic. And I'm looking forward to that game. I was looking forward to tonight's game. Don't get me wrong. But I am very excited to see now that Luka looks like he's about to come into his own here physically and mentally. I think we're going to have a lot of fun on Tuesday, and I can't wait for it.
And remind me, Joe, who might he score a lot of those points on Tuesday?
Well, I wish Max Christie all the best.
God damn. Hey, if I'm Max Christie, I'm working on defensive slides right now. I'm telling my team,
he needs to go to the weight room. He needs to go in the weight room because Luka will bully him.
It's as of now, it looks like my early assessment of Max Christie of not being a real NBA player looks like I was wrong.
Joe, I'm right there with you. I was standing on the
and I got caught into comparisons like everyone else. I shouldn't do that. I was soured after the THT signing and having him turned into a tulip. And I just assumed that Max was another tulip. But as of right now, it looks like he's fighting through it. And maybe he's going to be a solid NBA player. But we will see.
No Joker says Super Max Christie. I don't think so. He's a rotation player. That's what I've said from the beginning. And I'll keep saying it. He's a rotation player. You don't give a Super Max to Max Christie.
They didn't even give a Super Max to Luka.
Mhm.
He's arguably the best top 3 player in the NBA. So imagine that.
Imagine that indeed. But
And I'm really, the thing with Luka is I really want to know what's going on with that. I really want to know. We're going to know over time. Like if we don't find something weird behind this, somebody really needs to go talk to those idiots and go, "What the hell? What's with this smear campaign that you put out? You guys made it out like this guy was murdering people behind this."
They'd rather it's very simple. They'd rather have legalized gambling in Texas
Straight up.
than
Straight up.
Luka Doncic. It's just that simple.
I'm not. Oh, I speak the truth. That's a pretty good name.
I speak the truth, my boy.
Oklahoma City will be a regular. Shea Gilgeous versus Luka will be a regular series for the next at least 5 years. That is. There's no doubt that that's going to happen.
nobody's going to throw shade on OKC. The way they built that organization, the way they built that team, they are primed for a great run. I speak the truth. So nobody, especially the way they play defense, is gonna be clowning on them. But if they beat the Lakers, they're not going to do it without a fight. And I'll just say that. Indeed.
So no Joker just said, yeah,
Young
they fumbled the bag, and he said, "F them," and I'm a Texan, so he knows. Even people in Texas know what happened, Gerald.
Well, just to give you an idea, I mean, we talk Mavs. They were devoting time on their playback tonight to go ahead and cover Luka's performance against Denver. So they still get it. They always get it, and they always got it from the get-go. Shout out to We Talk Mavs, a great Dallas Mavericks place for conversation and fandom. They knew from the instant how bad a trade it was, and we're just hoping it gets proven true for our account that the Lakers will continue to go ahead and find success. Luka will be able to do what he needs to do, and hopefully get it done even more so on Tuesday. But again,
and hopefully get over their Stockholm Syndrome complex with Max Christie.
And shout out young advocate CSC. He's been here in the chat showing love, chatting here with us, and he's in here in the Lakers Corner chat. And then I speak the truth as well. Just want to point on his thing he said about his OKC. That's actually one team that I think that we would have a really hard time with because of their immense amount of elite perimeter defenders that they can constantly send at the Jokic's, at the Austin Reeves. And similar to how we were, talking about you got to send multiple defenders at Jokic, that's what OKC can do to Lakers. They can send multiple defenders at Luka, multiple defenders at Austin Reeves. You can try to send multiple defenders at Braun, but some of those guys kind of small. But hey, OKC is definitely it, man. I wouldn't, like how Gerald said, you will not catch me dissing OKC. Very good team. My third favorite team.
Glad you made it safe, Thameless. Truly appreciate your feedback and letting us know that you got off the plane and now you're home. So once again, it is the Lakers fast break. Lakers win 123-100. They are in fourth place now in the Western Conference. I did correct myself on that. So always great that the Lakers now can move up in the totem pole on the Western Conference, but we'll be back tomorrow. Legend says I got a lot to talk about on my sports show tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. I got next sports media on the YouTube. Go ahead and check out his great channel. He will definitely be giving Luka high praise for his performance. Indeed, I was on there for an interview with Legend, so please go ahead and check out and support his great channel as well. But once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. If you're not watching this live, please like and subscribe, so you too can get the latest notifications on when we go live tomorrow, when John and everybody comes by for the Q&A on Monday. And we'll come right back at you with playback and also as well the best post game in town right here after a great Lakers victory in Denver. Luka haters be damned right here on the Lakers Fast Break podcast.
Lakers fast break. We're still recording. We're